News Voice is the world's first mobile app that helps you track where your news is coming from. News Voice helps you track what corporate interests might be influencing the narratives in the news you read every day. Arm yourself against corporate media monopolies by downloading the News Voice app for free using the link right underneath this video. Now let's dig into vote by mail. This is crazy. Donald Trump has been continuing to attack vote by mail while drawing a false distinction of vote by mail from absentee ballots, while now telling Floridians that they should all vote by mail. So the backstory has been that as the coronavirus has raged, voting absentee has become increasingly important in terms of safely voting in November. We have never had a federal presidential election delayed. We don't plan to do it this time, but we want to do it safely. Donald Trump has come out very strongly against vote by mail, and we know why. We looked at a poll on Monday, which showed that among voters planning to vote in person, 2/3 support Trump. Among voters planning to vote by mail, more than 70% support Joe Biden. So the data is clear. It's crystal clear why Trump would oppose vote by mail. Then Trump has sort of either deliberately or genuinely, we don't know. He's been confused about vote by mail versus absentee ballots, even though what we are talking about this year is expanding absentee ballot access to whoever wants one, not requiring certain conditions to be met. Fear of catching coronavirus should be a valid reason to vote absentee. Often in real time, we've started to see over the last 72 to 96 hours contradictions between what Donald Trump is saying and what his press secretary Kayleigh McEnany has been saying. And yesterday, in the midst of a press briefing during which Kayleigh was saying one set of things about the fraudulent nature of vote by mail, Donald Trump tweets out of nowhere, quote, "Whether you call it vote by mail or absentee voting," which sort of implies that he's recognizing it's the same thing. "Whether you call it vote by mail or absentee voting, in Florida, the election system is safe and secure, tried and true." What? Florida's voting system has been cleaned up. We defeated Democrats' attempts at change. So in Florida, I encourage all to request a ballot and vote by mail, MAGA or MAGA, I prefer to say. So now Trump is saying in Florida specifically, both vote by mail or absentee, which he's conceding are the same things, are safe. In other states where vote by mail and absentee ballots are also the same thing, except he won't accept it, only absentee is safe. Vote by mail is not safe. Other states like Nevada, who have decided to expand absentee ballot access to everybody, are really, really bad. But in Florida, everybody should vote by mail. This is incoherent. There's just no way around it. And Trump was asked about this during yesterday's press briefing, and he came up with some whacked response about Ron DeSantis is one of the best governors. Now, almost everything Trump says, you just reverse it to find out the truth. Ron DeSantis is one of the worst governors and, in fact, has overseen one of the worst coronavirus responses in the country. But Trump's explanation was Ron DeSantis is so great that you can vote by mail safely in Florida. So there's speculation about what the real reasons might be that Donald Trump is saying, hey, vote by mail in Florida. It's good there, but not elsewhere. So there's kind of two options and then a third, which is pretty ominous. The first option is very simple. Trump is concerned with personal hypocrisy. I know. How could that possibly be? But just, this is the idea. Trump knows he voted absentee in Florida. He recently changed his residence to Florida, and he's being called out about it. So he wants to make it a state by state issue. And he's saying, listen, Florida's safe. I voted by mail in Florida. In Nevada, it's unsafe. He attacked Nevada earlier this week. That's the first possibility. Second possibility is there's something specific about Florida that he's seeing in polls. Like, I don't believe this idea that it's fine in Florida because it's safe, but not in Nevada. What's possible is that there's some polling data, something about Florida demographically. Maybe, Florida has the fifth oldest population in the country. Maybe the 2016 results combined with the demographic realities of Florida make him think, I've got old folks whose votes I need in Florida. Let me encourage vote by mail in Florida, but not in other places. That's the second possibility. And always it's because of Trump, what's best for Trump. The third possibility, which is ominous, is does Trump have a reason to think that Ron DeSantis, this whacked Republican governor, one of the worst in the country, does Ron DeSantis have something planned in Florida where Trump knows that vote by mail will either not hurt him or will help him because a funny business that Ron DeSantis has planned, or maybe the Trump campaign has even worked out with Ron DeSantis. It's conspiratorial. There's no doubt. It would be treasonous. It would be immoral. But remember in the year 2000, the Bush-Gore contest and how Florida ended up putting George W. Bush in office, effectively, is what took place. Could Florida do it again? So what's the solution? Come on. You guys know. Don't let it come down to Florida. Make the results so skewed against Donald Trump that Florida is actually irrelevant, that Biden would win with Florida or Biden would win without Florida. That's the way to do it. And by the way, I checked out some of the pro-Trump corners of the internet yesterday. After Trump being against vote by mail for months, all of these Trump enclaves are now instantly falling in line and saying, yes, safe vote by mail in Florida, re-elect Trump. It's fascinating to watch them change their stance in an instant. Pretty good sign of a cult when you see that. Now, here's one idea that I will leave you with. Instead of using these terms, vote by mail or absentee voting, vote by mail and absentee, same thing, different thing. Should we just call it vote absentee by mail? Like, is that a linguistic solution to a political problem that might be able to head off some of the nonsense about one versus the other? Are they the same? Are they not? I'm voting absentee by mail. Everybody should vote absentee by mail. Maybe there's something there. Maybe I'm very, very wrong. Let me know what you think.